Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am doing the Industrial Garden Spa Speed Build. So if you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. So I was partially inspired to do this build because of this section that I'm working on right here. I kind of really wanted to do this sort of stepped garden sort of thing. I actually have seen this a lot, well not a lot, I've seen this a couple places in the area where I live, and then I've also seen it when I go to the nearby big city, and it seems to be kind of a popular architecture style, and I really like it. I think it looks really cool and modern. I live in a really hilly area, so a lot of houses sit kind of precariously and they don't really have a front lawn, they have a front hill. So some of them have done kind of a similar thing, not as fancy as this because, you know, it's not The Sims, but I thought I would kind of like represent that in a build, and I actually have a couple of sketches that I did. So I've been doing a couple of sketches for some of my builds and I haven't showed any of them, so I figured I might as well throw them up on the sounds so bad when I say that, but it'll be up on the screen, and so you guys can check out what my kind of original concept behind this was. And so then the second inspiration was actually from a subscriber. They wanted me to build a gym, and I know this says it's a spa, but it's a spa and gym. I just didn't want to put industrial spa and gym because I thought industrial spa or industrial garden spa looked better than an industrial garden spa and gym, but it's a gym. I feel like when people ask me to do stuff, I'm like, yes, but what if instead, and I'm like, that's not the point of them asking you to do things, but I hope that you guys like this anyways. It does get more Jimmy on the other side, but right here I am just working out this sort of vertical, it's not really vertical, but stepped garden, and I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite part of the build. Like, oh my goodness, I will probably be doing this again in another build. Like, it's just so gorgeous, and I shouldn't be complimenting myself that much, but I do really like it. I had originally thought I would do it for a modern house, but I think it works really well on a community lot as well. It's been a while since I've done a community lot. I honestly can't remember the last time I did one. I think it was probably for my steampunk fantasy spot, I think. I don't know, there's something about community lots that are just really daunting to me, and so I almost never do them. And like, yeah, like I've really only ever done spas and I mean restaurants, but those aren't quite community lots. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I should do more community lots, but I do know that I really love doing spas. They're one of my, like, they are a favorite of mine to build. Like, I've loved all three of the spas I have made to death. Some of my favorite builds have been my spas. But yeah, and I love the windows I use in here. I've used them before, the sort of grid ones in the black color, but this time I used the brown color, and I was really excited to do that. And yeah, I also really loved how the shape of this build turned out. Like, it's basically two buildings connected by a sort of walkway, hallway area, and then there's also a basement area that gets natural light. I was like, what? I really enjoyed how that turned out. You could see that in the intro. Also, by the way, I am dying for that intro. I love it so much. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness. I took so many panoramic shots for this, and like, there were a lot of them that I really wanted to use, but then I like couldn't because that'd be too long. And not all of them are the best, but this is kind of like my baby, and so I was like, oh, it's so good. It's not, some of them weren't that good. So I actually included some of the reject ones in the screenshots. So this time around I did a little bit of different stuff for the screenshots. So if you do stick around towards the end, which I hope you do, but I mean, you can click away anytime and I'm not forcing you. I would love it if you would tell me if you like this style of screenshots better or if you like my regular style, because this time around I added in some of those panoramic shots that didn't make it into the intro, and then it looked weird to have the panoramic shots then go to the screenshots, so I made the screenshots kind of move a little. So you'll see what I mean if you make it to the end, which you definitely should. But yeah, and I love these like little steps here. I wish we could round off corners of foundations with steps. Oh my god, how awesome would that be? Oh, because right now I just put in a dumb plant that doesn't even really fit there flush against it. It would have looked better if it could, but I just kind of left it because I was like, whatever. But I wish they had added that. That would have been so nice, like some sort of dynamic where, kind of like the countertops, you know, like when you don't have them on, or when you have them on auto, they sort of snap around the corners. I would love that with stairs. That would have been great. Oh well. But yeah, so oh, wow, the complaining started at 7 minutes. Actually, I think that's probably my average. It's about 7 minutes is when I stop talking about the build and I start complaining about the Sims. You know. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you heard that, but there was like a garbage truck honking. It's so funny. The garbage trucks in my area, well, I mean, for my apartment, they can't like come into the parking lot and then turn around and get out, so they have to back out of the parking lot onto the street, and so they just like honk the horn over and over again. They're like, I'm coming out, you guys, I'm coming out, you better stop, I'm coming out, because they can't actually see whether or not they're going to crush somebody as they're backing up. And I'm just like, oh my god, there has to be a better way. Like, really? But ugh. Anyways, so here I don't know if I'm getting fully into the coloring here, but I did have a little bit of difficulty coloring this place just because I love the brick that I chose, and I honestly could have left it exactly like this, but I know that builds tend to look a bit better if they have more than one sort of color or texture, so I added in a wood texture to some of them. And so yeah, also you can see there I tried using those sort of twinkle lights, and I've only ever used them once in a build, I think, like successfully, and that was for my Hanukkah build. But they're so hard to use. Like, I really wish they had made a version of just the string lights that could hang from any ceiling height, kind of like the sort of room dividing tapestry wall fabric things that we got in City Living. That would have been great for those twinkle lights. Like, oh my gosh, could you imagine how many people would be using those things, like hanging them from like doorways and along windows, and ugh. Anyways, it makes me sad because I really want to be using them, and I actually included them in my sketch. I don't know if you'd be able to tell that from my very, very poorly drawn sketch, but I actually really thought they could be fun to use. But here I really like what I did with the flooring here. I like that I broke it up a bit with this sort of wood and then also black stones. I thought that looked really cute and kind of tied it into the front stone area. And I wasn't able to round off the stairs with the corner, but I did that with the stones and kind of given the impression. But here I am trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with the exterior coloring, because I was just like, what am I like, can't I just keep it this way? But I was kind of just like, no, you should break it up a little bit. But this is about, I think soon I will add in some columns, because I thought that the sort of overhead archway thingy there looked kind of weird, just sort of free floating. Like, it wasn't totally impossible or unbelievable, but I thought it would look better with columns, and I really like how it turned out, and it actually took this build in a different direction with some of the greenery. But yeah, I'm sorry if you could hear the train in the background. Apparently the garbage truck and the train have been colluding together against me to only sound when I record, because they're being really rude. But I don't know, like, I a part of me is torn. I'm like, oh, I hear the train coming, maybe I should stop recording, but then another part of me is just like, whatever. Yeah, I think the train agrees with me. I don't know if you could hear that, but like, I also just never know how much you guys can hear on the recordings. But yeah, oh my gosh. I think I will pause because it sounds like it's going to be a loud one. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. But here I am doing the sort of ivy, and I only showed me doing this on one of the columns because I did it on like all of them and it was super repetitive and took way too long. But I do really like my use of ivy in this. I actually find that I have a hard time using ivy in The Sims. I don't know why. I don't kind of feel like I'm not the best at it. But here is the sort of entryway check-in area for the spa. And it's a little funny. The Sims are not going to go here first. They're going to go straight into the downstairs area, and then they're going to or into like the first floor level, and then they're going to walk down into the basement to get changed. So they will never come up here unless you make them, which is a little awkward, but in real life people would, I think, probably. Maybe you'd have to put up a little sign on the door saying this is not the front entrance. But yeah, so I do I still really like the entryway, even if it's not like where the Sims are actually going to be entering. But I also really liked what I did here. I feel like I really tied back in the sort of fountains with the greenery. And I was kind of torn. I kind of like the idea of the ivy peeking through, but then it looked kind of odd when the game was actually playing. And so I actually had that originally for the front as well, with the ivy peeking. You can see it there, it's peeking through more, but I thought it looked weird, so I brought it forward a bit. So you lose a bit of the greenery effect, but I think it looks a bit better. There were a couple of things that I tweaked after I was done building and when I was like doing the screenshots and whatever, so those will, the tweaks will be up on the gallery. It won't be like incomplete or anything, but you know, but here I'm trying to decide what doors to use. I really wanted to use those bathroom doors that came in Spa Day, but they're gendered, and it's just like the gendered ones are like kind of nice in, you know, they add some realism, but also they're just really annoying because you can't see them when you're playing with cutaway walls, or like no walls at all. And so then you're like telling your Sim to go to the bathroom and you're like, why aren't you going to the bathroom? And the Sim's like, because I'm not that gender, stop asking me. And it gets really obnoxious. So I just decided to have either side be whatever gender you want. No genders, all genders, whatever, like I don't care. I really don't. I'm just kind of like, besides they're kind of like unequal in how nice they are, like the changing area, because like this, the one side is bigger and has a better layout, I think, but the other one has a really nice window and direct access to the little pool. So I'm kind of torn between the two as to which one's better, but I think they both have their pros and cons, but I think that would make it hard to decide who gets what with the changing rooms. But luckily the Sims don't seem to mind. I don't think changing robes next to each other. I think they're pretty chill. But yeah, and I have been using these benches from Get to Work. They're sort of like the prison benches, and I have really been liking using them for like non-prison-y things. I think they look really cool, and there's just something about the Get to Work stuff that I feel like is a bit underrated, like not just like by other people but by me as well, where a lot of like, I mean, definitely some of the surface items that they use for displays, a lot of people don't realize that they're there to be used for other things, and so I think that that bench in a way is one of those things that is definitely not used as much as I think it would be if maybe it was advertised in a different way, like not as a prison bench. I also use some of the shelving. It makes some good industrial stuff, and I'm sure people have probably used it, I've just never noticed, but I did like that. But yeah, I really liked using mirrors in this. I thought it looked really cool, but part of the issue with using mirrors in The Sims, in modern builds especially, is for whatever reason, at least my Sims game, cannot generate the exterior, like sky, like the clouds and stuff. It's just like, nope, the entire sky is blue and looks bad and it's ugly, and so that's really annoying. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in any of this, because I made sure to, I think in maybe one of my screenshots you can see it, but in all of my panoramic shots I made sure that you couldn't, because I just thought it looked really odd. But I loved using those sort of wall lights that are sort of industrial and maze-like. I really did, and I thought they fit really well on the grid windows. So I really like that. But on this floor, this is part of the gym, obviously. I tried to add in more TVs because I feel like I kind of forget that when I build gyms. And I think that's because I personally don't work out to a television. I either work out to music or I work out to audiobooks, which I love doing. Oh my goodness, it's like my favorite thing. That's what I'm going to do today after work. I am so excited. On Thursdays, which is when I'm recording this, so a bit early, but on Thursdays I take a half day, and so in the morning I kind of just like relax. I will often record something like this, and then I will go to therapy, and then I go straight to work, and then I work for the rest of the afternoon, and then I come home. But this time I'm gonna work, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm so excited. But this is the wall of windows that really was like obvious, that like, because they're facing the horizon, and so it looks kind of odd if you look at it too closely. But yeah, so excited to go to the gym. I still listening to the same audiobook as I was last week, the Siege and Storm, is that what it's called? Yes, by Lee Bardugo. So yeah, I'm still listening to that, having a lot of fun with it. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I want to talk about, well, I don't really want to talk about, but I thought it would be fun to talk about. I have been having muscle cramps lately. It's so obnoxious. Like 2 weeks ago, I woke up on Saturday with a Charlie's horse. I talked about it last time, and it was just like a really traumatic way to wake up, with like a searing cramp in your leg, and like it finally went away after about a minute, but then my whole leg ached for like the next couple days, and so then I was fine. But then I last weekend was such gorgeous weather on Saturday, so I went for a walk for exercise, and then I went to go to the grocery store, and then I came back, and then I went on another walk because the weather was so nice. And the next day I woke up and my calves hurt. Like, they weren't cramping, but they hurt, and I was like, ooh, because I was planning on going to the gym and working out on the elliptical, and I work out really hard on the elliptical, and I was just like, maybe not, don't kill yourself. So I didn't do that. But yesterday I was just walking home from an event, and I was like really full of energy, and I was already dressed up in my exercise clothes, so I was like, why not just do a little bit of a jog? Like, I almost never jog, just because I weigh so much that it's hard on my joints, and I don't like how it feels, so I would much rather like power walk or elliptical. And so I like jogged for a block, and that was fine. I definitely could have kept going, but then I needed to go downhill, and my whole shins just like seized up. Like, the muscle was just like so rigid, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done to myself? So I ended up walking the whole way home. Honestly, I had to stop at one point, and I was like, am I gonna make it home? Like, it's 2 blocks away. Like, can I do this? But yeah, anyway, so that's my exercising adventures lately. Hopefully I don't get any muscle cramps working out today, because, but we will see. If I do, then I only have 1 day left until the weekend. But here I am doing one of the massage table areas. There ends up being 2. There's this one, which is a single massage area, and then there's another one that has 3 massage tables. But now that I think about it, it would probably make more sense to only have 2 for like a couple spa. But whatever, you can always take one away. But here I'm in the basement, and like, you know, kind of starting to add in some stuff. Basements I find are really nice for fitting in things that you forgot to put upstairs, like, because you could always just kind of add something. You don't have to worry too much about how the shape looks. But I have a love-hate relationship with basements. Like, I really love them because of the sort of flexibility they give you, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, what do I do with all of the space? Like, I don't know, like, what do I do? And so I get, like, really, like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, so, oh my goodness. Oh, one of the things I also noticed, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this yourselves, but I put a lot of ivy on the outside, which you probably noticed, yes. But when you're looking at it from the inside out, you can't see the ivy. Like, I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that's a glitch, but, like, you can't, at least not in my game, you can't see the ivy from the outside, and it's really bizarre. Like, I don't know why, and so it's really weird. I mean, it's kind of nice because then you get the really nice views of San Myshuno, because this is built on San Myshuno. Oh yeah, by the way, this costs about 231,000 simoleons. Not that it... Oh, excuse me, I need to burp. Oh, goodness, that's so attractive. Not that it's, like, really matters because it's a community lot, so you don't have to pay for it, but it is about 231,000. And then it's also took me about 5 hours to build, which isn't too much. I definitely edited this down, tried to go for a slower speed than usual. Hopefully it's not too nauseating, just because I realized that last week I think the build was too fast. I don't know, nobody's commented on it, but it was a little fast for me, but I had already, like, done my voiceover before I realized that, and so I was just like, But yeah, so these chairs are, like, for hand massage, foot massage, I think. But I always think of them more as, like, nail polish, even though we don't have that in The Sims. But yeah, also, I hate to admit it, but I did not play test any of this. I am really bad at that. Like, honestly, I used to do that a lot more, but now I'm just kind of like, it'll work. And I have no idea, and I really should start doing that more, but I just haven't been, so I'm really sorry if none of this works. Like, I don't even know. Like, a lot of me, like, there's a part of me that's, like, really anxious, like, oh no, what if none of it works? And then another part of me is just like, whatever, it's fine. They can just move something, which it really is not the best sort of outlook. But yeah, like on this basement floor, there's, like, a little diving thing, and I feel like The Sims will probably, at the very least, clip through it, if not be able to use it. But I didn't test it, because, whoa. Yeah, so, whoopsie, that's not the best. But I love this little outdoor area. It is so cute, like, oh, I can't. And I was finally able to use those potted plants that are flanking the, like, waterfalls there, technically inside, because it's an outdoor area, but there is something wrong with some of the outdoor plants or indoor plants that are supposed to go outside, because they just, like, make everything around them dark, and it's really annoying, and I don't remember them doing that in the past, so whatever. But yeah, and I love this little, like, landing area. I just love it so much. Like, imagine coming out of this, like, the spa area after maybe taking a shower, before you get into the pool, and then just kind of dunking into the pool and swimming around and stuff. And yes, that is what you do in pools. You swim around and stuff. But yeah. About here, I'm working on the hallway, which is weirdly one of my favorite parts of the build. I think it's because it looks like this little ottoman slips into this table, and something about that just looks, like, really cute to me. But yeah, I also put in some of the finishing touches for this area, and I forgot I had meant to add in a sort of vending machine fridge, so I did end up putting that in. I think you can see that. Yeah, you can see that in the screenshots. But I did end up moving that just because I was like, I really wanted that, and it was really the only place I could fit it. But oh my gosh, the views from this place are just so gorgeous. I really can't with how pretty they are. But yeah, I really love doing this thing with the the plants, and I found that they're supposed to be for like to imitate gutters, and I thought they looked really good for looking like the plants were bolted to the wall or something. But yeah, I am coming up to the end of this build. Again, please tell me what you think of the new screenshot style, or not new necessarily, but different. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, or subscribe, especially if you're interested in being notified as to when my next video is. I will let you in on what the next one is going to be. I'm going to be doing Rory's build challenge, so I'm really excited about that. But it is going to be with a little bit of a twist, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I had wanted to get this video out a lot sooner, but I'm still not done with Rory's build challenge, so I didn't want to try and rush that one to make it so I could do a double upload. I'd rather just have my builds look good and whatnot, but I feel like I always start the outro either too late, and so then I'm like rushing. I'm like, oh my god, I have to finish everything I'm saying, and I'm going too fast. Or I start it way too early, and then I'm like, oh, this is awkward. This is really awkward. What do I talk about now? But and like I'm just trying to like stall the time until like right before the screenshots. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing now, if you hadn't noticed. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys are all having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!